Hey everybody, so I'm here to offer a little bit of help with your IXL assignments for the weekend. I know that we were having a lot of technical issues on Thursday, and so I kind of wanted to make sure we knew what we were doing. So we talked a lot about independent variables and dependent variables, but we didn't get a chance to talk too much about domain and range because my computer was acting crazy. So I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit more about this. So domain, I briefly mentioned yesterday, were the X values, also known as the independent variables. And we spent a lot of time like identifying what was dependent, what was independent. It's the same thing, it's just different names. So independent variables, those are going to be your X values on a graph or in a table, in a set of ordered pairs. It's also known as domain. And so that's the big vocabulary word I want you guys to remember. Domain, it's the X values or the independent variables. The range, on the other hand, is the opposite. It's the Y values and the dependent variables. All right, so range, Y values on a graph, that's the up and down ones. And they're the dependent variables. Y depends on X. So I'll just write that down. Y depends on X. All right. So I just wanted to do a couple of IXL examples with you guys because I had a few questions yesterday before I left work. Now let's start with one of these. It gives us a graph and it says, what is the domain? What is the domain? And I believe yesterday we did the X values in yellow. So I'm going to do that same kind of pattern here. Domain are my X values. So I want to look for my X values. All right, what that means is I have to look at all these points that they put on my graph, right? And I have to figure out what X value. All right, so let's just kind of look. If you look at this point right here, it is -3, +4. This point right here is -3, -4. And this point over here is 4, -2. Now what it's saying is, what are the X values of these points? Well, we have -3, right? -3. I don't have to highlight it twice because I'm already mentioning -3, so I only need to mention it one time. All right, so, and then +4. So whenever I go to write my answer, these little squiggly lines, that just means they're looking for some kind of values, right? This doesn't mean it's a point. It's just saying what numbers are the domain. And I just highlighted them for you. So our numbers are going to be -3. Now the instructions say put a comma in between, the values. So put -3, 4. Again, that's not a point. You're just listing some numbers, okay? So don't think these little squiggly lines are points. It's just a list of numbers. You've got -3 and 4. That is your domain of this relation. Now, if you look at this one, it just gives you a set of points. It says, oh, I have 3 points. What is the range of this relation? So I'll highlight that in pink just like we did yesterday. And when it says range, what that really means is the Y values. The Y values. Okay? So let's just look at the Y values. Remember when we write points, they always look like this, right? X, Y. So we're looking for that second number in the point, all right? So I'll just highlight them in pink. Here's one of them, here's the other, here's the third. None of them repeat, so I have to list all 3 of them. So my final answer would be 16, -16, 3. All right, so if you're a little bit confused on how to put that in IXL, this is how it would look. So I would have my little squiggly lines there that they provided me, and then 16, -16, 3. I just type that in, hit submit, and they're going to give us another example. So this one is just like the first one. It says, what is the domain? The domain, that's the X value, remember? So I'll take a snip of this, and then I'll jot it down and do my highlighting and things like that. So domain, remember, is our X value. So we got to look at these points. Let me change to my yellow highlighter. Okay, look, -2, 1, 2, 4, right? Because that's where my points are on the x-axis, right? We want our x values. If it makes it easier for you to just look at the little axis, that's fine too. The first one I listed the points, but if you just kind of look where it aligns with the x-axis, it's -2, +1, +2, and +4. So my answer, I would put commas in between them, -2, 1, 2, 4. Okay, -2, 1, 2, 4. Submit. Here's another range. I'm going to just kind of quickly do this because range is just the y values. I can just look 18, 13, 7, 9. 18, 13, 7, 9. Okay, range of this one, again, range is the y values. So I'm looking at the second little number in each point. 14, 5, 14, -5. Now you notice 14 repeats itself, right? So I only need to list it one time. Only list it one time. So 14, 5, -5. Okay, domain, again, is the x values. So here is -3. So I'm going to put that, -3. When it's right here on the y-axis, that means x is 0. So we have 0. We have 1, right, because it's on the 1 for as far as the x-axis. So I'm going to put a 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully you see where I'm getting those. What's the range of this selection? The range is just the second point. I'm waiting for it to kind of ask me a different question. We've been doing the same thing for a while now. 17, -11, and 7. So all I did was copy these numbers here. Remember, if they repeat, you only list it one time. Range again. Let me see if I can jump a level. Aha, so this one says, what are the domain and the range of this relation? So the domain is the x values, so -17, 9, and 9. So -17, since 9 repeats, I just write it one time. Range would be -16, 16, and 6, right? I'm just listing the x and y values. The domain and the range of this relation, let me snip it and put it in my notes so you can see. All right, remember domain is the x value. So domain would be -4, 0, 1, 2, and 5. So my domain is -4, 0, 1, 2, and 5. Now for my y values, let me use my yellow highlighter, or my pink highlighter. Let's check it out. 5, 4, -3, -4, -5. So 5, 4, -3, -4, -5. Now, if the highlighters confuse you, let's look at it a different way. I'll just list the points. That way they look like our other examples. This is -4, -3. This is 1, 5. This is 5, 4. This is 0, -4. And this one here is 2, -5. All right, so I'll highlight my domain in yellow like I've been doing. My x values are 1, 5, -4, 0, 2. As you can see, I have those same numbers listed here. And for my range, I'll highlight them in pink, -3, 5, 4, -4, -5. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you've made it this far, go ahead and send me an email that says game day, and I will give you 10 extra credit points on this assignment. Thanks, and have a good weekend, guys.